this one is for anybody that has been forced to grow up without their father in the picture. And I know that this is a heavy topic, but this is something that was very big in my life and one of the things that I really had to overcome myself. And I feel like that experience and talking about it is going to be helpful for somebody that has had to or maybe is going through that currently at the moment. Now, when it happened for me, I was around 5 years old, and it was a very complicated thing to try to process when you're 5. You can't really process it at that age. But I ended up being raised by my single mom, and it's three of us total in the household. And my mom did a phenomenal job raising us, yada yada yada. But going back to that specific moment when it actually happened, I remember being very confused, because obviously I still had some recollection of my dad like being there every day, and then out of nowhere he just wasn't there anymore, and I was just like, what the heck, where's my dad? And then obviously the adults would give me like some explanation, but as a kid, you just like, they obviously wouldn't tell you exactly what happened because you're 5, you're just too young. And I remember specifically this is like literally one of my first memories of like actually piecing it together. Actually no, this is actually my first memory of actually piecing it together. And my dad would visit, thankfully, because my dad would still come around. I still have a relationship with my dad, FY, and it's good. But he would come around and visit my siblings and I and the house, and sometimes it would be later in the day, and then he would put us to bed, or at least me specifically, and then I would remember like waking up and being like, what the heck, like where's my dad? And I would ask, and then obviously they gave me a runaround. But eventually I was like, you know what, I'm gonna be a detective. I put on my detective boots and my detective hat. And one day he came over late at night, and I had a whole plan that I orchestrated. He put me to bed, and then I pretended that I was knocked out. And then slowly but surely, he, started getting out. And then when I heard him open the door, I jolted up. I was like, where are you going? In Spanish. And then I definitely caught him by surprise. And, he, definitely told me something and put me back to bed. And then I woke up the next day. But, that moment is such a big moment in my life. It's one of the first memories I actually have growing up. But, it's a very complicated thing to process, and unpacking it is very, very important. And if it's something that you've gone through or something that you are currently going through, you have to really unpack it. And the way to unpack it is talking about it. And it was something obviously that was not pleasant in my life, but I don't look at it as a negative thing. I definitely did growing up, but at this point, I have been able to transition my mindset and to be grateful for the experience. But more on that in a second. Going back to the point, it was a very hard thing to try to like process. And obviously, as you get older, you start to, oh, that's what happened, this what happened, that what happened, right? And obviously, the details don't really matter. The main idea is that I had to grow up without a dad in the picture. Like my mom never remarried, so I never had like that adult figure come in, and then nobody really stepped in, and there's nobody's job to step in. This is just the experience that I was meant to have to go through growing up. And, going back to what you can do about it. Number one, you should definitely talk to somebody about it, maybe somebody that you care about, or maybe if it's necessary, a therapist. And that's the first thing that you should definitely do. But if you're not ready, because you do that when you're ready for that, that's when you take that action and you actually execute on that. If you're not ready for that and you haven't done that, my next recommendation is take care of your mind. Your mind is absolutely everything. And that's the one thing. Like, I was somebody that I never liked talking about it, because obviously it wasn't a pleasant thing. And now I can talk about it openly because I've healed from it. But listen, taking care of your mind is the first step that you need to do. And there are certain things that if you are somebody that has or is, if you're somebody that is struggling with it, like, it might sound so simple and dumb, but it really is. Listen, you take care of your mind by doing the following things. Work out. It is literally the best form of stress relief that you can possibly ever do. That's why it is so important and it's so overlooked, sadly. But when you work out, you are literally working out those problems that you are having in your mind. It's just normal. It's just how things work. So when you work out, it helps you process everything else. So if you're somebody that is going through that or has gone through that, try that. Start working out. I recommend working out every single day. And, just practice on really sharpening your mind. And I would absolutely, 1, work out. 2, wake up early. 3, I wake up before 5 every single day. 3, read some personal development books. And, again, if you're not ready to talk to somebody about it, then you need to be able to unpack that and heal yourself. And obviously, you might not be able to completely heal yourself because eventually you are going to have to talk to somebody about it. But you can start doing the work to get you to that point and build up to that point. Because listen, it's not an easy thing that you're going through. Traditionally, you grow up in a family that has a dad and a mom, and then obviously your siblings, if you do have siblings, and that's just like the traditional way to go about it. But if things did not work out, things did not work out. And it's not your fault, but just the experience that you were meant to live. And you have to make the most of it. And this is where you get to the PMA aspect of it. Positive mental attitude. If it wasn't for all those experiences that, yes, were uncomfortable, and yes, were unfortunate, and yes, I don't wish them on anybody, I wouldn't be the man that I am today. And I'm grateful for it. Again, I wouldn't wish that on anybody. But it is what it is. I have gone through it, and now I'm able to grow from it. And what can I say from that experience? I know for a fact, I know what I want in my life, and I know what I don't want in my life. I never want to, if I ever do enter that step or that phase of fatherhood, I know that for a fact that I will work my hardest to not put another little kid through that, because I know what it feels like and it freaking sucks. And I will work my hardest to never, never, never put anybody through that. So, although the experience was dumb, it has given me a very clear sense of direction as to how I should be with myself, how I should be with my partner, how I envision my life, and then so on, But again, you switch it. You have to be able to turn pains into gains. Your adversity is going to elevate you, because those things that you have faced, that adversity also comes with it a seed that you're going to be able to turn into something more. So that adversity comes with a seed of equal or greater opportunity, is the saying. So yes, it's unfortunate. But what's the positive thing about it? Listen, this is something that has been going on for ages, for years. It has always gone on where somebody grows up without a parent. It's not new. But listen, what is the positive aspect about it? Now I have gone through it. But now we're at an age where I can get behind a camera and I could talk to people, and people actually listen to me. So I can now help somebody that is going through that by sharing to them how I went through it. Because that's the thing. When you come online, you could only talk about the experiences that you've gone through. And everybody that has gone through different experiences will talk to you. Everybody that has gone through that experience or a specific experience will talk to you in a way that makes more sense for them. So for somebody, the way that I handled it will work. For some people, it won't. Or for some people, it won't relate. But for somebody somewhere, it is going to be helpful. And that is a way of, again, turning a pain into a gain. Now I'm able to help somebody on the other side. And that's literally what I'm about. Like, I'm literally just about helping other people on the other side. Like, when I took up education and teaching, I specifically work with kids that come from a very similar background to mine, which is a migrant background. That's what I specifically do in terms of teaching. And the reason why I do that is because it is extremely fulfilling for me to be able to give back to my community. So that's why I do it. So like my calling is to use my experiences and use my background, my cultural, my experience background, and use it to be able to grow, to help other people overcome and grow. Because at the end of the day, listen, people will listen more to somebody that either has what they want, or two, is where they want to be in the future. So if that's something that you like, if this whole growing up without a father is something that you know that you have struggled with, this is how I have dealt with it. And listen, if it's helpful, great. If it's not, I still recommend the following steps. Talk to somebody about it. Get closer to somebody that has gone through it, that has overcome it. And three, listen, sharpen your mind. And the best way for you to take care of your mind is to work out. It's the best way. Let's get it, guys. It's go time.